talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSH.
700 ICE and Border Patrol agents out of here. Is this a win? Are you feeling like this is a big step, or I don't know, man, like I'm sort of happy about it, but I'm also skeptical. 651-461-9226. I'm mostly skeptical. If you had asked me a week ago, Jason, how do you feel if ICE got 700 agents out of here? I would have said, man, awesome, let's go. I would have been thrilled. And right now, part of me is very concerned that these immigration officers have simply moved out of like sort of the central hot zone of South Minneapolis and some of the neighborhoods of St. Paul. And I know they're out in the suburbs still doing their thing. The mayor of Minneapolis said that 700 officers gone, 2,000 agents still here isn't his idea of de-escalation. Where are you on this? 651-461-9226. Today I know in the suburbs, which is where the ICE operations have really been focused over the last couple of days. You know, Tom Homan comes in and says, like, hey, we're talking to people. That's good. Coming up at 5:20, we're going to talk with the head of the Sheriff's Association in Minnesota, who was part of negotiations with Tom Homan. And I'm going to ask, what are you guys actually doing that's different? Or is this just sort of shuffling things around so everybody can claim a win on this thing? I expected more. I expected more than 700. I would have liked to see half of the agents out of here. David is in his car at 651-461-9226. David, I was hoping for more than 700. I'm not quite sure that this. I guess I don't know what to think about this. Where are you?
Well, I'm fine with it. Obviously, I didn't have any problems with it before with most of the people that I know with the number that's here. But you gotta have to think about, agents are going to have to scatter around between all the jails and all the counties, so they're going to have a number to handle that. But you're still going to have some people that are going to have to go out and do stuff, out in the public. And, like before, typically it would take one or two agents to go and take care of something like this. But with all the useful idiots with their whistles everywhere, seems like it's going to take, a half a dozen agents just to keep the peace and protect the rest of the agents and the person that they're trying to get at the same time. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. It's a start, and that's kind of what they said. It's a drawdown, so it doesn't mean it's going to have to all happen at one time.
I mean, we had what, 130 or so agents stationed in the state before. I'm not abolish ICE. We shouldn't enforce laws. We should enforce laws. And I do like that things appear to be more targeted. But I don't know, there's still no real disclosure as to exactly what they're doing. So I don't know. Are they more targeted, or are they just hiding more of what they're doing? I don't know.
Well, I think it's targeted right now. They're more targeted, and obviously same thing happens. It's kind of like a dragnet. You go out there and you're after one person, and other people get scooped up at the same time.
And that's sort of the deal. I'm not crying about that. You know what I mean? I think if you are here illegally, if you overstayed your welcome or you came here illegally or whatever, part of that deal is, at least the way I always thought about it, is that sort of every day you wonder if you're going to get caught. So that's part of the gamble when you come here illegally. I worry more about sort of the tactics that we saw in the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, where it's just all of the citizens being grabbed up, all of the people who are in the middle of asylum, like just a lot of unconstitutional, brutish nonsense that I guess I'm glad it at least seems that has slowed down, but I don't know.
Well, you got two different people handling it now. Tom Homan's handled it for years, so he's got a handle on things, and he's going to change the tactics. When you had the other guy, Bovino, he's Border Patrol. He's tougher, different situation down there. I mean, they're being shot at by cartel across the border and all kinds of things going on. So, it's a different situation, and they're not trained for crowd control. So I think things will change, and I think it's going to be a big start, but you're still going to have tons of protests going on because there's going to be a ton of people that don't want ICE here at all, period. And they just don't know the law. They just don't know what immigration is. They've been like that for decades,
David, thank you. I appreciate it. I am optimistic about, look, sometimes just changing the person and changing the tone, it's more than just window dressing, in my view. The tone and the tactics was my main objective. And the tactics, the question is, by moving activity out to Columbia Heights, out to Fridley, out to Blaine, out to Maple Grove, are they changing tactics, or are they just out of the view of the most involved activist? I don't know. 651-461-9226. I don't want either side to look at it as wins or losses. Can't we all move in from our sides to a common cause, says a texter. Another texter, how do we know that 700 left? Dan and I were talking about that before. I sure hope somebody is at, do these guys get flown out from Whipple? How does this work? I don't know. How do we know anything? How do we know there really were 3,000 people here? I don't know. Texters at 612 saying it's like 6 lawyers at the bottom of the ocean. It's a good start. Now, I know a lot of good lawyers. How dare you? But I'm also not going to spend. That's a good joke. I'll endorse the joke for sure. 700 out of 3,000 is still now. Some left with Bovino last week. Why can't they tell us how many people are here? Some of this stuff is very simple. We don't know how many people are here. We know that the lawyers are overwhelmed and the Department of Justice attorneys are not complying with orders that are coming from our federal judges. We're going to talk to Paul Blume later in the show about that because he was in court yesterday when a Department of Justice attorney, somebody who came in here, an ICE attorney who came here to help out, told a judge in open court, this job sucks. This system sucks. I'm like, yes. Yes. Phil's in Woodbury. Our buddy Phil, how's it going?
Jay, thanks for taking my call. I know you're busy. How you doing?
I'm good. What do you think? 700 out, is that a step in the right direction? Is it victory?
It's what they take, but here's the deal. Everybody wants win or over, and you're supposed to say why.
Why?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Why?
Because everyone's holding signs. Ice out, ice out.
Yeah.
It's just a joke, but you know what? With both parties, though, I don't know what to believe, and that's just me, though. Phil from Woodbury.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks, Phil. Phil just drops a joke. Peace out. Drop the mic. I like it. Jay's in Minneapolis.
Hey, brother. Good to get on the CCO airwaves with you. Let's talk turkey.
Let's hear it.
Hey, here's a story. The turkeys have come home to roost. So the thing is we've got to understand how we got here so we don't get here again. See, this is not something that just happened by chance. They were so orchestrated. The borders were open purposefully. And then to expect that nothing would be done is ludicrous. So, shame. Now, to see what took place is ludicrous as well. So there was a really unfortunate overreaction to try to get this cleaned up. But somebody went in and they purposely did this, and shame on them. They opened up the borders. They created a false asylum process, thinking that these people would come in and then be let in and have citizenship. Nobody agreed with that on both sides of the aisle. This was a president that was making up stuff.
Jay, I think you make a good point. And I was actually talking about this with a friend today because this state, Minnesota, is a proud state of taking in legitimate people who were, filing for asylum. You look at the Hmong immigration into the United States and all of these people who fought with the United States during wartime, and they were escaping true hellish situation. And you could make the case for sure that Somalis, when the churches first started bringing Somalis in, they were leaving a war-torn nation. Well, now you have people coming from Mexico and from Ecuador and from South America claiming asylum. And, most of these cases, when they finally get into the actual system and get their hearing, they're not going to be granted asylum because this is not what we traditionally think of as asylum. So your point in saying, come on in and then we'll sort it out later, I think has been a train wreck. I think it's been a train wreck.
And here's the problem with that. Now they point the fingers and they make the conservatives look like they're the bad people. Really, the bad people were the people that opened the door that weren't allowed to open the door, that created the havoc, and then they point the fingers at everybody else. And it's really ruthless. It's hard because these people that are from these southern nations, most of them, 90% of them, are amazingly just quality people.
Yeah.
And then you'd like for them to have a better way of life.
That's right.
But
yeah.
let's help them in their own environments. Let's help them to build strong countries where they want to stay there, where they can be successful. And then we want to have a certain amount of immigrants because they're part of the economic engine of our nation, which allows us to grow.
Yes.
So let's do this wisely, and let's not do this politically. This has been a political hack job trying to get people to come in so that the Democrats could own the next decades by having all these people on their side voting for them. That is what has happened.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. I think the Republicans have also weaponized this for their own sense as well, though, by stoking fear, by intentionally choosing chaos, by coming to a city where they knew people were going to be mad that they were here, instead of going to a quote-unquote target-rich environment. Any of the other states, which happen to be Republican states, that have way more undocumented immigrants than we do. So if we're going to be non-political and be legit about it, we got to be legit about the failings and the fact that there are political people on all sides of this that are manipulating this for their own good. Poppy, Kyle, stay on the line. We'll get to you guys. 700 federal agents out, supposedly, as soon as today. Is it a win? Is it not? I'm skeptical. More in a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about Canopy Group, because this weekend we're all going to be watching kind of a big game. And you're going to be inundated with so many home and auto insurance ads. And I want you to listen to those ads really carefully. When you hear somebody say they are on your side, well, I hope they're on your side. I've seen a few things. Yeah, no kidding. And I don't know about this one. You're in good hands. Or the double check. What are we checking? Their work or ours? All these ads, what did they do for you? Nothing. It's one company, one agent, no options. Call the Canopy Group. The Canopy Group has a clear message. 16 companies. That's what you get access to with one call. And you get 50 professionals. Now that's who's on your side. As your home and auto insurance needs change over the years, which they will. I've been through it. I got 2 kids that were teenage drivers, and now they're both off at college. The Canopy Group helps you find another insurance company to meet your individual needs. They just do it. No fancy ads, just me telling you my experience. And the simple act of giving you insurance options year in and year out. So call the Canopy Group. It's 800-967-3389. Or go online. You can do it there at thecanopygroup.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. Pick up for 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Jason DeRUSH.
He just doesn't know when to shut up, and he doesn't necessarily listen to really smart people.
Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
My mama always said I would regret it if I ever got a tattoo.
Talking about the drawdown of ICE agents, the breaking news that came earlier this morning as borders are. Tom Homan said 700 agents out. We've had good cooperation, he said, with sheriffs, with mayors, and trying to figure out better ways to get at people that they want who are in the jails. And he reiterated that the state has been cooperating. And has always been cooperating. What a load of crap, by the way, right? These guys, this is why I can't take anything at its face from our government right now. Because they spent weeks hammering the state of Minnesota for not cooperating. And then Tom Homan comes in and is like, well, actually, they were cooperating the whole time. Just very, very frustrating. Trust is so important, and when it gets shattered, as we've seen time and time again, the false narrative that was set forth in the hours after the killing of Alex Preddy, and then the nonsense about the state, so many lies about the state of Minnesota that Paul Schnell started a website from the Department of Corrections to say, like, here's really what's been. It has to combat misinformation from the federal government. It's not great. Poppy is in Eden Prairie. Poppy, thanks for listening and for calling. How are you feeling about this drawdown? Go ahead.
I don't believe you said a lot of things that I was going to say. I just cannot believe it.
Sorry for taking your thunder. That's terrible. I should shut up and let you guys do it.
There's some more. I have a little bit more, but I can't believe anything they say. And those three last guys you had on, I won't even call them men because they probably sit at a bar with their hat on backwards and talk about how bad the illegals are. And I am all for taking the ones that have raped or murdered or whatever.
Nobody wants
them out.
Yeah.
Send them back. But the thing is, they're taking good people and people that our citizens are afraid to leave their home. And 700 is way too many. I am very involved in the community with people with disabilities. And there are so many people that work from different countries with our children, with our seniors and this, that won't leave their homes. But I don't see all these guys saying, it's woke and we have whistles. Why aren't they applying for these jobs? Why don't they go get their children to apply these jobs? And our economy in Minnesota is going to crash because of all the small businesses, because these three guys that called in that sit at the bar with their hat on backwards saying, we're woke, we have whistles. Thank God we have whistles. Thank God we had cameras to see the truth of what really happened, because our government lies about everything right now. Yeah. And so 700 people, I think there's, who knows, they're now arresting observers saying they're not. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, the lies. And I think it's terrible. I've never been prouder to be a Minnesotan ever. And I mean, I thank the people that are on those corners blowing whistles. I thank those people that are doing it because, yes, everyone should be documented. But why don't we take the Metrodome? The season's over. Take them down there. Have lawyers. Have immigration people. Have them fill out paperwork. Have them do all this. Get them registered, whatever. Or have judges who are waiting. These people are waiting for court dates. Get them in, because these people are so important to our community. They make our community what it is. So,
Poppy,
the three guys that called in.
Have you seen stuff calm down in Eden Prairie at all? Or I know up in the north suburbs, we've seen a lot more immigration agent activity. Part of me thinks that, part of this pause is really a pause in activity in the hotbeds where there are a ton of people and organized signal groups and people who are sort of following, and they've gone out where maybe there are fewer activists or less organization.
I have heard and I have seen online that there was a lot of activity yesterday in the Richfield area, back at the Target, where they took those two young kids out that were citizens and threw them out of the car at Walmart, beaten up badly. They were citizens, that 17-year-old kids. They were back at Target there, I've heard. I've heard that they've been in apartment buildings in Eden Prairie, kind of going door to door. I've heard they've been in apartment buildings in Edina, going over there. So I think they're still out. I don't think they're doing what the little monkey did. What's his name? Greg something, the little monkey.
Greg Bovino.
Said he had this little stove going around. I don't think that's happening, but I think the little monkey's gone, but they brought in, the big monkey. And the big guy now is doing smaller raids, so it's harder to track.
It's a little harder to track. Yeah, thanks, Poppy. I mean, I've heard him called the little guy. I don't know about that. Kyle's at Robbinsdale. Kyle, you're on CCO. Just, I got about a minute, so lay it on me.
Yeah, I got 10 high tens for Poppy. I worked in restaurants before COVID, and a lot of our folks were coming up from Ecuador and the mountains. They were farmers. Our economic banking system worldwide and, mass production of everything has really put a cramp on the environment, not just here, but other places where farming happens. So a lot of folks are coming up that are farmers that don't have access to water. They're getting mold.
Sure.
Yeah. So we can say all we want to, but people leave for all sorts of reasons. It's happened for millennials.
Yeah.
Holman is there. I've seen a lot of single drivers out and around, ICE agents, and I think they're doing a lot of spelunking and taking time to kind of reassess and replant, try to get away from us.
Right. Yeah. I think that's true. And that's why I'm a little skeptical. Thanks, Kyle. Like, is there a massive shift going on, or is this just sort of spreading out and trying to do this a little more quietly? That I don't know. Remains to be seen. More to come on this topic for sure. Thanks for everybody calling and everybody's input. We're going to talk to Tracy Perlman in just a minute. We'll change the topic, talk about the big game coming up this weekend. What is your go-to snack? I want you to text me at 651-461-9226.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people with chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aids that don't solve your problem or sledgehammer solutions like surgery. Our unique Advent approach can, with a 20-minute in-office procedure, open your blocked nose for good. Outside of Advent, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, in-office solutions can help you stop the Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventnose.com to schedule your appointment.
Advent
Most insurance accepted.
You can do this. Why? Because no one cares more about your money than you. Right now, many have concerns about their retirement, their investments. Are these mutual funds a poor investment? Did you know that with the average fees of 2%, you could be missing out on upwards of half of your potential retirement dollars? That's pretty high for management, especially when 75% of these funds underperform the market. At Trading Academy, our mission is to empower you to take control of your investments. Text investing to 210-210. Take control of your financial future. Maybe it's to just have a better conversation with your broker. Sign up for a free investing class, local classrooms, one-on-one mentoring, how to protect your investments against inflation. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So.
And those sleep night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those sleep night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those sleep night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Got a crash working on 35W southbound as you make your way onto the Highway 62 ramp there. Update is brought to you by Koch. Trade on anything. If you're going to be traveling Cedar southbound, you're going to find some slowdowns as you make your way toward Diffley Road. The crash out to the left side there. 494 eastbound jammed up. Portland over to the area of Cedar Avenue. The big game is here, and now you can trade on football legally nationwide on Koch. Right now, New England is trading at 32% to beat Seattle. $100 trade pays out $289. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI. Call sheep. Trade on anything. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Washburn-McCreevy bringing us the weather forecast from Chris Schaefer.
Our mostly cloudy sky will persist into the night tonight, falling back to 17. That's quite mild this time of year. 37 the afternoon, high tomorrow. Finally, warming above freezing. Quite certain you'll see somebody running around in shorts. The wind is going to pick up on Friday. Temperatures will drop as the day wears on, but we recover nicely. Above average this weekend and next week.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, 25 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tracy Perlman is with us on the phone today. And Tracy, I want to talk about the Super Bowl. I like a Super Bowl party. I don't know that I care that much. Well, I care 0% about the game this year. You?
I like Sam Darnold. I can cheer for Seattle for Sam. He was one of us. I like to claim anybody who's flown into MSP Airport and maybe wore purple once upon a time. So I'm going to cheer for Seattle this time around, even though every time the Vikings play them, it doesn't end well for us. But the Patriots have won enough.
Doesn't it make
They don't need
it
another Super Bowl.
worse if Sam Darnold wins a Super Bowl and we let him go? Are you trying to inflict more pain on the Vikings fan base?
No, because I like the idea of we got him there. We showed him how to be a champion.
I have 0% heard that take. I've never heard anyone say that.
Thank you. Let's go with it. I'm a great
Sam.
Great sports
this
mind.
is so fascinating. You are claiming that Sam Darnold would never have been able to lead a team to the Super Bowl if it wasn't for the experience that he got right here in Eagan, Minnesota, at Ziggy World, the home of the Minnesota Vikings. I like this. I may jump on board this train. It's so absurd. I'm going to see if I can get more people to agree with it.
We gave him that confidence. We showed him what was possible. He got a taste of the winning life.
Yeah.
Of a little, what do they call it, a left-hand toast and being in the left column? We showed him what this is about. And then he went and took it to Seattle and said, let's do this.
I tried to make this same case with Jamie Yuccas, that I made her everything that she is, her time with me.
Same.
Matt Brickman, he went on to New York City. And would he have ever done
Heather Brown?
that? Heather Brown. Look,
Can we keep going?
Big time anchor.
I mean, come on, give yourself some credit.
How many superstars have I individually made? And I think you deserve an assist on all of those as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I should. I produced quite a few of those shows. I think, I say yes. I think we know how to make a superstar here in Minnesota. We just don't know how to always close the deal. But we're getting really close to it. We're figuring it out, and it's been the football season wasn't super fun, but the other seasons can be fun. Hockey season's we're having a lot of fun.
Hockey season
with
is going great.
Wild and Frost.
Yes, big overtime win last night. Kaprizov, very nice. Now, are you doing a Super Bowl party? Do you attend? Do you host? What's the situation?
I will be attending the Super Bowl party at a friend's house.
Do you have a go-to,
like
a go-to snack that this is the Tracy Perlman legendary move?
No. It changes from year to year with the crowd I'm with because I don't have a consistent Super Bowl group. This is a year 2 group that I'm going with.
All right.
And we have a little joke right now with Johnny Pops. So I'm going to be bringing some Johnny Pops to the party. But
Popsicles?
I like a hot show.
I like a Johnny Pop, but that is an unconventional Super Bowl item.
Yeah, very long story short, we went to the Plymouth City Puzzle Palooza last weekend.
Oh boy!
And Johnny Pops has moved into Plymouth, and they gave the rec center a bunch of Johnny Pops. We finished our puzzle so slow, we didn't get Johnny Pops at the puzzle thing. So they had put them away by the time we got up there to get one. So I said, I will bring puzzles. I will bring Johnny Pops to the party and the puzzle.
Can we just unpack what is a Puzzle Palooza?
Puzzle Palooza. Thank you for asking. It is a jigsaw puzzle competition, which, as you know, grandma hobbies are super popular, as are analog activities. So people are putting down their phone and apparently picking up puzzles. And we saw it. We thought it sounded fun. Jason, this thing had so many people signed up for it. There was 2 sessions with 30-some groups in each one. They were so full. They had a wait list.
Huh.
We had a very good time.
Should I be happy or should I be horrified?
No, this is terribly horrifying. But it was super fun. You know, the Winter Carnival also does a puzzle competition. Theirs is like sanctioned for like international competitions.
There's
This one
such
was
a
not
thing?
with the city of Plymouth.
This was not sanctioned.
But it was they mentioned it like 3 times. They were like, this is not an official puzzle competition. But we were given a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle.
What was it? What
in a
was
bag.
it of?
And it was like a boardwalk scene, looking scene, but everybody has the same puzzle.
Oh.
And you don't know what it is until you open the bag. And then you put the puzzle together. And it's fun because you can like chit-chat with your friends. And it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. It was silly and fun. And it's what the cool kids are doing, or at least that's what I'm telling myself.
You're single, right?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, no judgment. I just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
I'm sure like that would you find as a single woman, like if some guy invited you to a puzzle event, would that be like appealing or not appealing, or what would this be?
If I was asked to go to a puzzle competition on a date, I think if I were into the guy, I think I'd say yes because it's kind of funny and quirky.
It is quirky.
If he were if that was like his passion and his hobby, I would absolutely not go. That would be a weird turnoff. It was a fun thing to do with my girlfriends who are all married with kids. So it was just kind of a funny.
I'm very worried about
the
the young people. Like I feel like I've never been that cool, but I've also never been this lame. You know what I mean? Like there's that sort of intersection. I don't know.
I think it's the people wanting to do things that are so not tied to technology. It's the crossword puzzles. It's reading books, not just reading like your Kindle, buying an actual magazine, trading cards, crafting. And so I think it's just that desire to not look at a screen during your recreational time.
That's good. That's worthy. That's very good.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. I don't think it's anything more than that. Like, look, it's too cold. I'm not going to go out for a hike like I would in the summer or the fall. And so I can sit inside, and I can also like chit chat and visit with my friends while mindlessly working on a puzzle. We have one in our break room here at the arena that we all just kind of chip away at.
What is it? Is it like a St. Paul scene? Is it Grand Casino's gaming floor? What is it?
I wish, that would be fun. It's hot air balloons right now, but we changed it out once we solve it. We trade puzzles with people.
That's fun.
I don't know who supplies the puzzles. I'll figure that out and report back. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
I got a little on a tangent here, but this is very interesting. Very interesting.
But it all comes back to Johnny Pops, and we were such losers. We didn't finish our puzzle in time, and we didn't get Johnny Pops. So I'm going to put a call out to our friends at Johnny Pop if they'd like to sponsor our Super Bowl
party.
They're welcome.
That would be smart.
But if not, I'm going to pick up. I like the watermelon flavored ones.
They could sponsor this segment with you. Why doesn't Johnny Pops put some money down and put some pops on the table, and they can bring us the Tracy Perlman weekly segment?
I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, we'll see what we can do, Tracy. Stand by. A big price cut and a big Super Bowl snack. We'll talk about that when we come back. Plus, would you name your kid Jeffrey right now? Drive Time. Back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Taste what pork can do. It's Jason here for our friends at the Minnesota Pork Board. I want you to experience the flavor, experience the difference that comes from Minnesota pork. And the reality is we're busy. But this weekend, I want you to think ahead. Maybe you're going to have some people over. What are you going to do for, say, a big game gathering? I think you should go to tastewhatporkcando.com, and you can filter recipes by bacon. So I see bacon and sweet potato biscuits with smoky honey butter. That sounds good. Candied bacon, bacon and Brussels sprouts, carnitas nachos, topped with bacon on top of pork. Oh, man. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? So many great options for you to enjoy the delicious flavor of Minnesota pork. And Enjoy the fact that you are supporting 3,000 family farmers in every corner of this state. The website is easy to get to, tastewhatporkcando.com. And your grocery store and butcher shop is easy to get to, too. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Staples has hot deals and super low prices on everything for your business. And right now, brand your business at Staples with up to 30% off custom labels. Exclusions apply. Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app. Ends 4/18. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Lady Godiva, Robin Hood. Another list of legends worthy of Borofka's Legends bed.
Solid hardwood posts give the bed its heirloom presence and conceal hidden storage compartments.
Our best one, Yeti.
Oh, Jim. Queen beds are Craftsman direct priced from $37.52 or $157 a month for 24 months.
Borofka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing. In Woodbury, Burnsville, and Minnetonka. Decidedly different.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash in place for southbound 35W on the ramp to Highway 62. The activity up to the left side as you make way past 60th Street. Get ready for it. West 394, jammed up out of Minneapolis, heading out to Worth Parkway. East 36, finding slowdowns there. Cleveland Avenue, heading over to Lexington. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
A dry winter can cause cracked, itchy skin and sore throats. Getting a whole home humidifier from Metro Heating and Cooling can help you get in the comfort zone on price and performance. Visit metroheating.com.
Metro Heating and Cooling.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Metro Heating and Cooling bringing us the forecast tonight. 17 is the low tomorrow, and Friday 37, and we stay above average into next week. Right now, it is 25 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
This sounds like torture to me.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Back with Tracy Perlman, and we are talking about the Super Bowl. Pepsi did announce that they are cutting the price of Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, and Tostitos by 15% in advance of Super Bowl. Pretty smart, because then they get some publicity for the price cut. And,
Right.
I don't know, will people note 15%? What does a big old bag of Doritos cost? $6 probably?
Okay, so we're talking about $1 off your chips.
That's something.
I feel like they could have done a 2 for.
Wow.
And that would have.
Yeah, true.
Listen, who am I? Oh, I'm being really greedy now.
Which would you pick?
You know
Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, or Tostitos?
Lay's. Oh, I might go. It depends. What's the dip situation? Because I'm gonna go. I like a ruffled Old Dutch ruffle with some top the tater or a guac taco dip situation. If it's a chili, then I want the Frito. And if it's just plain, I like a Cheeto.
Yeah.
Cheetos are my preferred golf snack.
Cheetos are underrated. They're underrated. Now the halftime show is Bad Bunny. While I have been working out, I've been listening to Bad Bunny because I know a little of Mr. Bunny's work, but not
Un poquito?
Un poquito, yes. I think it'll be fine. I don't know. The halftime show is always fine. You know what I mean?
They rarely do anything for me. The halftime show, unless it's like Beyonce. I want a performance. Lady Gaga was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want like hot take. I didn't love Rihanna's. I don't remember who performed last year.
I also do not remember.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like Bruno Mars has always been fun. I want like a fun. Remember Left Shark and Right Shark with Katy Perry? Like they were
so good, so entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I mean, nothing tops Up with People in the 80s. That was probably the peak. Last year was Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't do anything for me. You know what?
You're too old.
Remember
You're
it,
too old for that.
Remember Usher had the roller skates?
Usher the year before, Rihanna the year before that, and then the big hip hop show in 2022.
Do you have a favorite one? Like, do you have a favorite? Like, this one was one of my favorites. Do you have?
I did like the Shakira Jennifer Lopez of 2020.
Yep.
That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Prince. If you don't say Prince, then
you have to say Prince or you're evicted from the state.
Correct.
I think Beyonce did well when she brought back Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
That was good.
I also really liked, it was Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, and Missy Elliott one year.
Oh, that was very good. Yes.
That was a very good one. Not to be confused with Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Very different experience. So this was specifically with NSYNC.
Tracy, before we go, there is a story in Business Insider that said that the name Jeffrey may be on the way out. Starting in the 90s, Jeffrey Dahmer sort of was a downer for that name. And now,
that was a bummer.
Yes, as someone who went to college in Milwaukee, I think that's what we were calling it as well, a bummer, a real bummer.
Just a real bummer of a story.
Jeffrey Epstein right now. Would you name a child Jeffrey right now?
Well, so that's my brother's name.
Ooh. Does he go by Jeff now or Jeffy?
Baby Jeffrey. We used to call him Baby Jeffrey. I've always called him Full Jeffrey, but his friends do call him Jeff. So I wonder if he's going to need to do a little rebranding, perhaps.
Yeah.
A little, like Baby J was the other name we used to call him, because we both went to Kansas. And so my friends would call him Baby J. I do think there needs to be perhaps a rebranding with the name Jeffrey. But there's a lot of other great options if you want a J name. Jacob, Josiah. You could really, Jason. Like, there's a lot of names.
Thanks. I mean,
Jeremy,
if you look...
Josh. Yeah, like, there's a lot of names you can go with. But
when you think about successful Jeffs, though, it's tricky, right?
Jeff Bezos is another one.
Where are we on Bezos?
I don't know. It depends. Some people
Probst. What about Probst?
love him. Some people hate him.
Probst is good.
Oh, Jeff Probst. Yeah.
Does DJ Jazzy Jeff count? Does he count as a successful Jeff?
He should.
I think
he absolutely should. Jeff Conway. All right, Kanicki, is he still with us?
Goldblum. All right, text in with your favorite Jeffs. 651. Not many Jeffreys, though. 651-461-9226. Tracy, this was delightful. Thank you. Have a good
Super Bowl.
What are the pops called again? Now I'm blanking. Your popsicles.
Johnny Pops?
Yeah, that's right, Johnny Pops.
Pops.
I'm not going to help you get the endorsement if I can't remember the name
No,
of the
you
dang
have to.
popsicle.
This is your job, Jason. This is your one job.
I know.
Give me the endorsement for Johnny Pops.
I'll work on it. Thanks, Tracy. Drive time back. Get out of here. You're done. Get out of here is right. Get out of here is right. Little pre-recorded chat with Tracy Perlman. Lots of good text as well from you guys. Go-to snacks, Frito Scoops. Yeah. Oh, I love a Frito. Underrated snack, the Frito, don't you think? And barley and hops. Just kidding. Chili cheese dip. Very good. All right, lots more still to come in our next 2 hours here on CCO, including the post I put on X last night that got every lefty in Minneapolis absolutely apoplectic of me. Why I'm irritated again at the Minneapolis City Council. Plus, we'll get a chat about caucuses last night. Who should drop out? Because there are too many Republican candidates right now. Who's going to be out? We'll talk to Amy Koch about that after local news here on CCO.
Don't take an unsolicited cash offer for your home before calling the John Schuster Group with Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita here. Here's an example of just how this works. Gail wanted to sell her home as is without having to pay for expensive repairs. John told her she could get more money for her home by selling with him than she could by taking an instant offer. And it's true. John was confident her home could still sell quickly. Gail could still sell her home as is. John's marketing system helps him sell his clients' homes fast and for the most money possible. And it worked. The good neighbor agent, John Schuster, sold it for the asking price. It only took him 7 days. Curious what your home is worth? Just type in your address on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
When it happens there, you'll hear about it here. News Talk 830 WCCO. 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Still no person of interest 4 days after the disappearance of the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. Authorities are working closely with the Guthrie family and the FBI as they search for the missing 84-year-old. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in Tucson, Arizona, with the latest on the investigation.
Sheriff Chris Nandos telling us that Nancy Guthrie did have dinner Saturday night at her daughter's house, Annie Guthrie's home, and that Annie's husband ended up driving her back to that house in the evening, and that is the last time that investigators say she was last seen.
700 immigration agents are being withdrawn from Minneapolis immediately, but CBS's Nicole Skanga says the immigration operation is not over.
700 federal agents is a large number, but the remaining 2,000 federal agents on the ground is a much bigger number. That is still a tremendous federal footprint, one that is larger than what we saw play out in Chicago, New York, and even Los Angeles.
On the operation, President Trump tells NBC News in an interview airing today that he, quote, learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough, unquote. Ryan Ruth, convicted of trying to assassinate President Trump on a Florida golf course in 2024, has been sentenced to life in prison. His lawyer plans to appeal. An FBI raid at the Fulton County, Georgia election hub last week prompts officials to file a court motion for the records to be returned. County Chairman Rob Pitts.
We don't know where they are. We don't know really who has them. We don't know what they're doing with them. Are they being tampered with? I can use my imagination, and I would certainly hope not, but we don't know.
The last nuclear treaty between the U.S. and Russia expires today. CBS's Linda Kenyon at the White House with what's next.
President Trump could decide to extend the treaty, allow it to expire, or offer a new treaty. When asked about it, a White House official would say only that the president will decide the path forward when it comes to nuclear arms control. Trump has repeatedly discussed the threat of nuclear weapons, as well as the need to include China in any nuclear talks.
Abbott Diabetes Care is recalling 2 types of freestyle glucose sensors that have been linked to deaths and hundreds of serious injuries. CBS's Allison Keyes.
Abbott Diabetes Care is recalling its Freestyle Libre 3 and Freestyle Libre 3 Plus glucose monitoring sensors, saying the devices are giving readings that are lower than actual blood glucose levels. The company says as of last month, 7 deaths and 860 serious injuries had been linked to the problem.
Stocks closed mixed on Wall Street, and Google parent Alphabet's quarterly profit beats forecasts. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 25 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. 700 federal officers reportedly leaving Minnesota today.
The reduction of federal officers in Minnesota will not include personnel providing security for federal officers.
Until we see a change in what's happening with the lawlessness of the impeding and interfering and assaulting of ICE and Border Patrol officers.
Border Czar Tom Homan credits what he calls unprecedented cooperation from county authorities when it comes to transferring immigration targets to federal officers from county jails.
My goal with the support of President Trump is to achieve a complete drawdown and end this surge as soon as we can. But that is largely contingent upon the end of the illegal and threatening activities against ICE and its federal partners that we're seeing in the community.
Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
A government lawyer who told a judge that her job sucks during a court hearing stemming from the immigration enforcement surge in Minnesota has been removed. She also asked the judge to hold her in contempt so she could get 24 hours of sleep. CNN reporting Julie Lee had been given 88 cases in less than a month. Her removal follows the resignations of at least 16 prosecutors in the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office in recent weeks. And this just in, CBS News reporting the wave of departures includes an attorney handling the prosecution of Vance Belter, who is charged with the assassination of former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark. Elected leaders in the city of Minneapolis with their weekly update to brief the public on how federal immigration operations are impacting residents. State Senator Scott Dibble says a hearing earlier this week shed light on the chaos surrounding recent ICE detentions.
Even lawyers working on this every day do not know how many people have been taken into detention, where they are, whether they have legal status, or where they are going.
Dibble says lawmakers from other states who have come to Minnesota to lend their support are also speaking out. He says one of them, from what is considered the red state of Montana, warned Minnesota won't be the only state impacted and that the federal government is using Minnesota as a guide for how far they can go. Minnesotans no strangers to the sport of curling. And if you're watching the Olympics this year, you just may hear a familiar voice.
Not only is former WCCO radio reporter Sloan Martin the voice of the Minnesota Lynx, she's also covered a number of sports for the Big Ten Network. And starting tomorrow, you can add curling to the list.
I'm coming off of hockey and basketball, and that's high pace, and you're always talking, and I'm challenging my voice with those big calls, you know what I mean? And here, I'm like, all right, Sloan, relax. You got plenty of time. Things are moving slow, but it's also such an interesting sport because, Adam, they are mic'd up. So you literally get to hear inside the huddle.
She told WCCO's Adam Carter she has little to no prior knowledge of the sport and says she creates a curriculum and then tests herself to prepare for these big moments.
That's WCCO's Susie Jones. And WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates, American Family Insurance, East 94 near Pryor Avenue. Got a wreck working off to the right side. Get ready for your slowdowns as you come away from Highway 280, North 35 East, seeing some slowings. Move up from Pennsylvania Avenue toward Roselawn. 94 westbound slows between Hemlock Lane and Weaver Lake Road. 494 northbound near Bass Lake Road, possible crash working there. Protect what matters most with Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates with American Family Insurance. From your home to your car to your dreams, Amber Scholl and her team are here to help you every step of the way. Call Amber Scholl today, 651-738-4811 to learn more. Visit amfam.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll stay mostly cloudy into the night tonight. Fortunately, it doesn't cool off much. 17 the overnight low, and it's been a long wait. The warmth has arrived. Mostly cloudy, a high of 37 tomorrow. That'll be our first trip above freezing in almost 3 weeks. Now, the temperatures drop during the day on Friday as the wind picks up. It's still pretty mild out there. In fact, our temperatures will stay above average into next week.
Cloudy right now, 25. at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Where complicated stories meet clear thinking. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, it is Wednesday, and before we get into hour number 2, I just want to thank you guys so much for the support yesterday. Unbelievable. WCCO Radio has been doing the End Hunger Together Radiothon for almost 20 years now. And yesterday we raised $740,000. The most money ever, shattering the old record, which was around $600,000. So I think what we saw yesterday was love in action. Your love for community, your love for your neighbors, your belief that everybody should have access to food. It was awesome. We know that food is expensive. We know it. We feel it when we go to the grocery store. And so the way people stepped up and donated yesterday, unbelievable. So thank you so much. Very unusual. Not many radio stations around the country would turn over their entire broadcast day to one cause. But I'm so proud of this place, and there's a lot of people here who work hard to line up partnerships and sponsorships to make it happen. So thank you all. You guys are the best. We always say this. Our listeners are awesome. And some of the listeners of the other shows are questionable, but the listeners of this show are tremendous. So thank you. Last night, a bunch of Republicans and a bunch of DFLers gathered in library conference rooms, gymnasiums, some in bars for the caucuses, precinct caucuses. And I was very curious to see what sort of turnout we'd have, because the political environment in our state has been the focus of the country and the world. I was on Australian TV this afternoon because all over the world they're asking, what's going on in Minnesota? What do you guys think about this? How do you react to immigration enforcement? Obviously, for Republicans and for Democrats, the issue of fraud. So big that the governor of Minnesota decided that running for re-election again was maybe not the best chance for his party to win. So he stepped down from that electoral effort. So what happened last night? We visit with Amy Frederickson, a Republican analyst and a former Senate minority leader. She is on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Amy, it's good to visit with you. The Lisa Damath, pretty much the dominant winner. About 18,000 or so Republicans came out to vote. The Republican straw poll more interesting, right? Because there are so dang many candidates.
Right. So thanks, Jason, for having me and getting the name. I've got my new married name.
New married name, Amy Koch, all married up. We're proud of you. We're proud of you. Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Well, thanks. And congratulations on the Radiothon. 2 big, bright, shiny spots this year. Your Radiothon and Clint. So yeah, last night, definitely, the Democrats have, a person running for governor. I think a little bit more of the races on Hennepin County, attorneys were a little spicier. And of course, they have a pretty big contested U.S. Senate primary. But for the GOP, a huge slate. And I went to mine, and I can't remember if it was 8 or 10 candidates on the slate for governor. And so with that many on, I think there was a 2 candidates really came out the strongest. And of course, Lisa Damath was was at the top. And then second place, Kendall Qualls. And then the rest were just sort of kind of also rans, right? The numbers were very strong for Damath and Qualls.
And so is this a day where you think some of these other candidates, like Kristen Robbins, who was the first major candidate, I would say, well, Scott Jensen declared first, and then Kristen Robbins. But Kristen Robbins, the suburban Republican who runs the fraud committee, for her at this point to only have 4% of caucus goers, she's got to be disappointed with that, right?
I mean, I would if I were in that camp, right?
Right.
And I think, and here's the deal: like, does it mean anything? It means everything, and it means nothing, because it is just a snapshot in time. But it does. The folks that are in front, Lisa Damoth is going to pick up more endorsements. She's going to pick, from high-profile Republicans. She's going to be able to raise money because she can make a credible argument that she is the front runner. She is in this sort of big statewide poll. And by the way, there was a good Republican turnout. And I think it showed two things. What I got a sense of is kind of Republican rank and file. So long, this endorsement process and the caucus has been kind of very super insidery. And I think we saw a lot of other folks come back. And what I heard at my caucus was, the GOP has not won in 20 years a statewide race. We want to win. And I think that was also a part of, some of the candidates that came out in front because these were candidates that were perceived as, folks that could actually win, even though, Amy Klobuchar, of course, is going to be a juggernaut.
She'll be tough, right? Yeah, no doubt about it. Amy Frederickson with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. The other headline for me is looking at Scott Jensen, who was the candidate last time with only 6%. He didn't do that well in the first straw poll. He didn't do well in this caucus straw poll. Is this Republicans saying, exactly what you said? This guy lost. We need to win.
Right. And I think there was a lot of disappointment. And in fact, even on his own, he wrote kind of an op-ed after his race of the things that he, messed up in the race.
Right.
So, he was one of his harsher critics. But I think a lot of people felt the same, that it wasn't just that he lost, but that the race he ran was not a good one. And so there's a sense of let's move aside. Let's get somebody that, that can win a race. Definitely something that GOP are looking at. So
at your caucus, what was the vibe about Michelle Tafoya stepping up and running for U.S. Senate?
Well, so I'm in Edina, and Michelle Tafoya lives in Edina.
Right.
So, big support for Michelle Tafoya at my precinct caucus. But I think there's this I've been watching a lot of even, a lot of greater Minnesota. I've got a lot of, Facebook pages and all those sort of things and Twitter and kind of the rank, sort of the deeper involved Republicans. Yeah. And you see a lot of the same sentiment, Tafoya could win. And there's a very large group of Republicans that are kind of embarrassed after 20 years of losing statewide.
Isn't that interesting? Because for a long time, what we've seen more, and we see this at both parties, sort of the purity test type stuff, and abortion as an issue has been the purity test for Republicans. Is your sense that the Republican primary voters, I guess they'll be the ones to get the next go at this, but are they ready to say, look, we don't care that she's, not as anti-abortion as some of us are?
Well, it seems to be a little that, and boy, I tell you what, you're right. 10 years ago, I would have told you, no, just
no chance, right?
No chance. But I also think it has to do with the Supreme Court decision, right? There's just some sense that this is, a different time. And so I think that definitely has to factor
that they
into
won.
it.
They won the issue that the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Let's move on.
Send it back to the states, and Minnesota is Minnesota, right? And
it's not going to change. Right.
Yep, it's not going to change. But in a sense, that's okay. Now we have there's other issues. That just seems to be. It's still important, I think, but it just doesn't seem to be. It didn't even come up in the discussion last night, which is a surprise to me.
Amy Frederickson is with us. The DFL did not release any official straw poll results. I haven't seen anything yet, but they said they had about 30,000 people show up. I was curious what the difference would be in turnout, because you would think DFLers, because of the ICE surge, would be particularly motivated, but Republicans, a good turnout, not like a record turnout for Republicans, but more Republicans came out. I don't know. What do you make of the difference in those turnouts?
Well, not surprised. As you, I assume that the DFL, because in this moment, a lot of momentum on the political side for the Democrats, which is also interesting because a month ago, completely opposite. But I do think that both sides had a better than expected or better than usual turnout, and it is a result because of the politics is just everywhere for people. And Minnesota politics, top of mind on everyone. You mentioned Australian TV, right? I mean, international. You and I both do a lot of.
I can't believe the appetite. Stuff. How much people are interested
in Minnesota.
This. Yeah,
for Minnesota, right? Same thing. I mean, I do you do, and it used to be that I just sort of did national stuff and talked about it internationally. Now I'm talking about my home state, and it's just a very, very surreal sort of thing and difficult. And as a result of that, that's why I'm not surprised turnout was up. But I also, of course, a lot of energy on the DFL side, given what's been going on with Metro Surge.
I mean, the question for Republicans with this surge is, how long is this going on? And will whoever the candidate, whether it's Kendall Qualls or Lisa Damath or maybe somebody who still hasn't entered the race, are they going to have to answer for this? Are they going to have to defend? I think you can defend the intent. You can defend the policy, but it's going to be impossible, I would think, to defend some of the tactics we've seen.
What I always say is, both things can be true, right? I actually think that ICE, of course, many people do. ICE has a role to play. They've been in Minnesota for a very long time.
Absolutely.
100%. And also, this operation is a disaster. It's dangerous and it's deadly. And someone
you should sell that answer to your Republican candidates, because that's a good one.
Well, it's, I missed Apprentice Trump. When you did a bad job, you got fired, right?
Exactly.
How can you argue that this operation hasn't been that? I just don't know. And so why not just say, yes, let's, I think that would, it's kind of like with the fraud stuff. Just admit that you messed up and work.
It seems so easy. It seems so easy, but they can't. Amy Fredrickson, we appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jason. Always a pleasure.
Always good. Amy Fredrickson, former former Speaker at what, Dan? Senate President?
Senate Minority Leader.
Whatever. She was a big shot. Now she's just a yapper, just like me. That's how it goes. Amy talked about it being a disaster and a train wreck. That came into focus when Paul Blume was in a federal court yesterday. When the attorney says this job sucks, it gets everyone's attention. Paul Blume from Fox 9 next.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about quality clothing from quality people. It's Jason here for the only name you need to know when it comes to looking great, and that is J.H. & Sons. At the Galleria in Edina, it is almost time for all the spring clothing to come in. And I do love when spring fabrics arrive. They're a little lighter. They're a little more fun. Different color patterns, different, just everything's different. It's fresh. It's new. It's not as salty and slushy and gross. Sign up for the email list. Now's a great time to get to jhsons.com. Join their mailing list. And I just love talking about these people because you will feel it when you go in the store. Maybe you need a suit. Maybe you've got a special event coming up. Maybe you want to look great for that date on Valentine's night. You still have time for that. Get to the Galleria. Go see Kevin. Go see Bryce. Go see anybody at J.H. & Sons. They will take care of you. And there's a tailor on site, and they can fix that shirt, make the sleeves look good, make it fit your shoulders. They can make it work for your life. It's all about customized service and premium clothing. Get to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria and tell them you heard about it on the very well-dressed radio host, Drive Time.
In construction, things don't always go according to plan. Delays, disputes, unpaid invoices, they can cost you big. That's where Helmuth & Johnson comes in. Our construction law team focuses on contracts, litigation, lien claims, and more. Whether you're a contractor, developer, or supplier, we've got your back. Protect your project, protect your business. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com.
Is life insurance on your list of New Year's resolutions? Now is the perfect time to add it. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Metro Heating and Cooling delivers the highest quality products at the most affordable prices. Products like Train furnaces and air conditioners. For more than 140 years, Train has been setting and resetting the standard. Get your free estimate at metroheating.com.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh, the Minneapolis City Council. Last night I posted on social media that the Minneapolis City Council never misses a chance to give businesses the middle finger. So frustrating. Now, we could just save that post and recycle it for any number of different things. But I worry that no matter, well, let me tell you what they did, and I'll tell you why it frustrates me. So at a hearing yesterday, a Minneapolis council committee decided that 2 hotels, Canopy by Hilton in the Mill District and the Depot Renaissance Hotel in the downtown area, they are delaying the liquor license approval for those 2 hotels because those hotels had the audacity to allow ICE agents to book a room and stay there, and Border Patrol agents, federal agents who were sent to do a job in the Twin Cities. God forbid some hotel give them a room. Now, let's be clear. I have been very direct about the damage that this ICE surge has done to the Twin Cities. But also, I think, like, these agents didn't self-deploy, and they should have a place to sleep. And this targeting of hotels, to me, is the activity of children. Protesters who care more about screaming and yelling and making a point than they do care about changing policy. And they can convince themselves up and down that it's this noise. This is what's getting the president to back down. No, it is not. We had 20, 30, 40,000 people in the streets when it was 40 below wind chill, peacefully marching, raising their voices. I think that got America's attention. You being a baby screaming at a hotel, yeah, that does get attention too. Attention that makes us look like idiots. Now, the city council, first of all, denying a liquor license based on The fact that those hotels rented a room, every lawyer I know is telling me this is incredibly illegal. There's no way. There's no way that they could do it. So this is about allowing the people to come to a hearing and complain about how the hotels are, facilitating fascism and they're bootlickers and all the stuff that people said to me on social media last night for saying that. And fundamentally, people in Minneapolis have to decide, and I think many of them have decided, that they prefer to have people elected to the city council who are just like them. They're mad, they're activists, they're raising their voices, and it makes everybody feel good. You're like, yes, I'm sticking it to the man. And instead, you're sending a message that Minneapolis doesn't give a crap about businesses, and we're going to harass you if you do something that doesn't align with our politics. And I think it's so destructive for this city. And part of why it makes me mad is I spend a lot of my energy and a lot of our airtime encouraging people to get over their nonsense about being afraid of the city, get over their attitude that the city's a hellhole. Why should I spend my time there? I want more people to come. And the city council seems to want people to stay away. I want more businesses to come. I want every business to set up in Minneapolis or in St. Paul. But would you build a hotel here if the city council is, we have to let people raise their voices and make a statement? For what? Because they rented some rooms to ICE? Grow up. Grow up. When you elect city council members, I believe you should elect people to lead. Elect people who have the best picture going forward for the city. Not the most satisfying, screw you, I hate capitalism moment. But people keep electing this. And so the consequences to this are going to be that why wouldn't you put your next business in Brooklyn Park or Maple Grove or Golden Valley or Edina? There are options out there. And why do some of us even bother to try to encourage business and encourage action and encourage outstate Minnesotans to come down here when the city council is just going to put up the middle finger again? It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. 4:30, we'll get you up to date on weather and traffic. Your feedback is always welcome. Try not to call me a bootlicker. 651-461-9226. We're going to talk to Paul Blume in just a minute about an incredible moment in federal court where an attorney arguing on behalf of the federal government, the Department of Justice, and ICE got so frustrated she told her judge that the job sucks. We'll talk about that. Paul Blume, Fox 9, next.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Winter in Minnesota, and the whole state is just covered with ice.
Ice is the worst. It shows up uninvited, sticks around too long, and we're all stuck dealing with it.
Doesn't matter how careful you are, one wrong step and ice can ruin your whole day.
Well, you try to get rid of it, but somehow it keeps showing up like it owns the place.
Ice don't care what you want. It has its own agenda.
When Minnesota is affected by ice, we're on it. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana here. Resolution or not, if you haven't made a plan yet, I'm talking about a life plan, an estate plan, a plan for, your stuff. I know you don't like to think about what might happen if something happened to you, if you became incapacitated or even worse. But you know what? You got to do it. If you don't have that will or living trust or a power of attorney or a healthcare directive, consider this your swift kick in the pants to get it done. And when it comes to estate planning, I recommend my dear friend, Matt Gutman. Matt has helped me so many times. I'm talking medical powers of attorney, plans for the kids when they go off to college, and his full estate plan for me and for Mark. He's done it for my family. He can do it for you too. He and his partner, Jamie Ref Wagner, will do an incredible job for you, and you will be happy it's done. Call Gutman Law today, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com, 612-895-1616. GutmanLaw.com. Peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow along 494, both directions, between 100 and 12th Avenue, traveling 94 westbound into Minneapolis. That slows up as we move past Riverside. 694 westbound, jammed up, Highway 10 to Highway 252. And if you're going to be traveling along 610 eastbound, got some slowing there. Broadway, heading over to Noble Parkway. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $99 furnace tune-up and safety check. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Metro Heating and Cooling. Bring us Chris Schaefer.
Our mostly cloudy sky will persist into the night tonight, falling back to 17. That's quite mild this time of year. 37 the afternoon, high tomorrow. Finally, warming above freezing. Quite certain you'll see somebody running around in shorts. The wind is going to pick up on Friday. Temperatures will drop as the day wears on, but we recover nicely. Above average this weekend and next week.
It's going to be Dan Koch running around in shorts, I'm sure of it. 24 in St. Louis Park on CCO.
Jason DeRUSH.
I mean, the truth is, I am a terrible influence on Minnesota, on America, and perhaps the world.
Well, I've known that for years, but other people are just finding out.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's talk about the U.S. attorney who channeled some of the energy that I think a lot of us would like to tell our boss or tell someone on the record about our jobs. But Julie Lee, who was sent to Minnesota to do some of the U.S. attorney's work with all of these immigration cases, she was in court yesterday, as was Fox 9's Paul Blume, where Julie Lee, I don't know, is it fair to say, Paul, that she sort of lost it with the judge?
Yeah, I have to go there, that was a human breakdown in the moment under duress. Judge Jerry Blackwell just peppering her to understand how and why, in his opinion, his court orders are being violated by basically her client, right? She is on loan, in essence, or was on loan to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She is otherwise an ICE attorney, Customs and Immigration, Department of Homeland Security, in immigration court. And she volunteered to come over to the U.S. Attorney's Office to help with this unprecedented explosion in habeas corpus petitions filed by immigrants who are being arrested.
And these are, she's picked up in less than a month 88 cases. So
that's what,
right?
Yep, that's what the court records show, that she's the the named lead attorney on 88 habeas petitions.
You know, this does go to some of the stuff that we have been hearing from judges as early as last week, where they were saying, look, the Department of Justice is not doing their job. They're not responding to our cases. And this, Julie Lee in court saying that her job sucks and she wishes the judge could hold her in contempt so she could get some sleep. It does. So on the one hand, you can see why people would find it a little amusing and a little relatable. On the other hand, it goes the fact that if you're going to send 3,000 federal agents into a community to do a sweep, you better send some attorneys in, too, to try to prosecute this stuff. I think this is some of the lack of professionalism that people, both Republicans, Democrats, law enforcement, lawyers, have been talking about.
It certainly goes to the heart of that issue. And in the moment, we saw one person who's clearly in the middle of this hurricane. And you have the forces to do the arresting. You have the forces to do the sweeps. The questions the judges are asking, the questions immigration attorneys are asking for their clients is, what about the constitutional and legal arguments that are likely to take place over these arrests? And Ms. Lee is trying to represent the government in these cases. And overwhelmingly, Fox 9 has reported, just in January alone, 584 new petitions for these habeas corpus petitions to challenge an arrested immigrant's arrest and detainment. And overwhelmingly, the federal bench here in Minnesota is arguing the Trump administration is wrong, that these people that they're sweeping up are not mandatory detainable, and thus providing them a pathway to get out. But paperwork has to flow in and out of the courthouse to make that happen, and Julie Lee is caught in the middle. The paperwork comes in, release Jason DeRUSH immediately, get him out. He is not detainable as we continue to try to deport him. But ICE will often say that Mr. DeRUSH has now been moved to El Paso, Texas, or Albuquerque, New Mexico, or some detention center in Louisiana, and then this process can take days while the judges are ordering immediate release. So it is a mess logistically. I see it in court all the time, and yesterday it came to a head with this poor woman who, like I said, I think had a human, moment, a breakdown, if you will. Her colleague had to walk over and kind of soothe her back. The judge kind of backed down after she kind of had her breakdown. He had two more cases he wanted to discuss with her, but he kind of let it go at that point. And it was a human moment, no doubt.
Yeah, Paul Blume with Fox 9 was in the courtroom when Julie Lee said the system sucks and this job sucks. And it is a reminder that even though, we look at, on the outside, we look at it as the Department of Justice, this sort of giant institution. And ultimately, like, some attorney has to show up and do the work. And, this doesn't excuse the fact that there may be individuals sitting in El Paso or sitting in detainment who are unconstitutionally in detainment. And so you understand this sort of friction on both sides of this from the legal standpoint.
No, you do. And the chief judge, you referenced it earlier, last week put out this statement. I mean, he threatened to bring in the ICE's national acting director, basically the head of ICE, Todd Lyons, into his courtroom. In the end, he didn't make him testify under oath. But what he did say, Patrick Schultz, chief judge, Republican appointment, he did say ICE is not an entity unto its legal self. They have to follow court orders. And he had said just in January alone that agency had likely racked up more court order violations than most federal agencies had in their entire existence. This federal bench's patience is running thin. I think some of these attorneys are caught in the middle. And, by this system that is just churning out the arrests, the movement, the transfers, and then obviously the subsequent deportation is the goal of the Trump administration in the biggest numbers possible.
Paul Blume has been on the front lines in the courtrooms, kind of tracking this for Fox 9 over the last several weeks and months. And we appreciate it, Paul, because this is such an important part of the story. Lesser discussed, perhaps, the courtroom backlog. But I do think if you support a massive infusion of federal agents, you also have to acknowledge the very predictable reality that the courts are going to be overwhelmed, too, and how are you going to be ready for that? So your reporting really shedding a light on that. We appreciate it today.
Well, thank you, Jason. Of course, important to note now on the back end of this, Julie Lee, that attorney who did say her job sucks, the system sucks. She is no longer on assignment with the U.S. Attorney's Office. I don't think that will surprise anybody. But the other thing that's really going to put a major blow on the situation is Anna Voss, who's the civil division head at the Department of Justice or the local U.S. Attorney's Office. Anna Voss, she has been a beacon. You know, Joe Thompson on the fraud side. Joe, of course, left not too long ago. Now Anna Voss I have confirmed she is leaving that office. She was the one beacon that the judges point to, the immigration attorneys have been pointing to, like if there is somebody who's going to get to the bottom of a situation like a detained immigrant's in the wrong place, they're supposed to be free, moving that paperwork, making sure ICE does its best to comply. Anna Voss has been, kind of the go-to. She is leaving that office. So I just think about the numbers there.
Yeah. What are we up to, 14 or so prosecutors that have resigned since the ICE surge from the U.S. Attorney's Office?
I mean, the number you might, through official channels, it might not get up to 14 per se, but I certainly think into the double digits. I think it's safe to say they are running, historically low levels over there. I mean, they're getting support from out of state. The DOJ is sending in extra people from the Department of Defense, Department of War, if you will. I know on the criminal side, prosecutors have come in from other districts to help. But no, that office is struggling to find its footing under, a recently appointed, new U.S. attorney in Daniel Rosen. So it is, it is the logistical and legal side of this is remarkable. And again, with the judges often siding in this district with the detained immigrants and ordering their release, it is creating an incredible amount of pressure on the system. And Julie Lee, I think, put a voice to how much pressure there is on the system now.
Paul, we appreciate you. We know you'll be on top of it, and we'll be watching Fox 9 to see what the latest is tonight. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
When it comes to outdoor living, quality matters. Patio furniture from By the Yard is Minnesota-made, maintenance-free, and backed by a 35-year warranty. It's furniture that stands up to real life, season after season. Just think about it. You'll never have to store it, paint it, or stain this furniture. Get online at buytheyard.net or visit one of the showrooms in Jordan, Maple Grove, or Woodbury Lakes and see for yourself. At By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Bunch of slowdowns out there. North 100 included. County Road 81 up to 94. 169 jammed up both directions between Highway 55 and Cedar Lake Road. Watching slowdowns on 494 northbound Highway 7 heading up to Rockford Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the forecast brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant tonight. Pretty decent, low of 17, and then we're way above average tomorrow and Friday, high of 37. Kind of keep it up there. We might see 40. Oh, it's going to feel like summer. I'm going to be down to one layer with that kind of weather. Right now, it is 24 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Some big news in Twin Cities television, and KARE 11 has selected a new anchor, and people really, you guys love your TV people, which I'm grateful for, right? Like, if people didn't love their TV people, would I have this job? Now, I don't know that people love me as much as they used to. Maybe people liked me better when I just read the words instead of sitting here telling you what I think over the years. The new anchor is not one of us. Kevin Holmes is his name. He spent the last 10 years in Kansas City. You know, the track record of bringing in people from out of town into the big job. Is there an anchor that worked well for? I feel like it takes a long time for people to get used to it. A long time. Now, I don't know like where Kevin is from, but he's going to anchor with Julie Nelson on the big shows. I don't know. Like, do people, when Dan brought this up earlier, I said, I don't know if anybody cares. Like, do people really, do they care about the 10 o'clock news anymore? I don't know. Like, if you like Julie Nelson and you like Belinda, do you really care who they have next to them? I don't know if you care or not. One of the things that I think is sort of cool about our television market here is that you have such longevity, right? I mean, Frank and Amelia have been on the anchor desk at Channel 4 for probably 20 years. I think they celebrate 20 years together this spring. And so, I don't know, you kind of get used to these people, and when they change it. I'm just always a little amazed that anybody cares. And when Dan brought this up, your evidence is that you always get texts. Like your family, your dad especially is into it.
My
right?
dad's a news junkie, yeah. So he's always paying attention to who's there and who's not there and where'd they come from and all that kind of stuff. So
there is an obsession. I think there's more of an obsession when people leave.
Yes, I agree with that. Because, of course, you look back just at the Ren Claire stories that ran for how many months?
And who cares?
Whatever. But
yeah,
people are obsessed with who's on their TV, giving them the news. And you look at the comments on some of those stories, and they go on for miles.
Yeah.
So people care, and people care a lot. And of course, we're Minnesotans. We want one of us. We don't want outsiders.
I think we care less than we once did, right?
Very much true.
And you notice even like on Channel 4, you have Frank doing the 10 o'clock show by himself because people don't watch the 10 o'clock news as much. People are watching the 6 o'clock. They watch the 5, they watch the 6, and then they go to streaming. And so the 10 o'clock was always like, well, you'd watch whatever's on at 9, and then you stick around and watch the news. Well, if you're streaming, maybe your show lasts until 10:15, and then you're into weather, and you're like, I'm going to go to bed. I don't know that people care. Now, I mean, yes, some people care. We'll see. Like, is this guy any good or not? Now, a lot of you have been asking, why isn't it you? Why not you? I thought it would be you.
And when you say a lot of people are asking.
A lot of people are asking.
How many is a lot of people?
I mean, honestly, so people have been asking me that over the last, 3.5 years. I don't know. When did Randy Shaver leave? It's been 2 years.
It's been a bit,
2.5. And I would say that I don't want to. At one point, I thought, I'm like, that would be the dream job for me, right? Not, I mean, doing it at Channel 4 where I worked forever would have been the dream.
But just being a lead anchor.
Right. And I'm not going to say it still wouldn't appeal to a certain degree, just in a climbing the Mount Rushmore sort of phenomenon. But it's not the same as it once was.
No, definitely not.
And it's just more work, less pay, fewer resources, trying to do more with less. It's just not as much fun. Pre-COVID, local news was fun. I had so much fun. Post-COVID, less fun. It's less fun. So this job right now, a lot of fun. I like fun. I'm pro-fun.
You're a big fun guy.
Now, Al on YouTube is noting that I have a face for radio. Al, that is the first time anybody's ever said that. So I do have a face question for you guys that I'd like you to text in your advice for me, because I got a haircut today and I got a beard when I started in radio. Because in TV, they didn't care if you had facial hair or not, but they wanted it consistent.
Yeah.
So
they wanted it to come and go.
Yeah, and because I was hired with no facial hair, I always had no facial hair. They didn't want oh, you're going to have a beard for a month. No. But when I went to radio, I thought it was sort of a useful visual cue of I'm doing something different with my life. But I didn't really think I was going to keep this beard for 3.5 years. So I'm wondering, should I shave it? I lost all that weight, right? And I don't really know what I look like without the facial hair. So, I've got a lot of, I think a lot of guys who are in their late 40s, early 50s, your beard is, your normal hair color, except by the chin. So you have the same bit.
Yep.
The gray, what do we call this phenomenon? The gray hair on the chin.
I don't know.
Why? Why isn't if the whole thing were gray, it would be fine. But the gray chin, it's why are we doing this to me?
And I've got this weird deal where it's dark in the middle and then gray on the side.
What is that? It's very strange. Have you ever?
Almost it looks like I'm trying to dye it that way or something, but no, that's just naturally how it grows.
Did you ever consider dyeing the gray?
No.
Now, you'll be shocked to hear that I have considered
really?
that.
This is my shock face.
I'm not going to dye my beard.
Thank you.
No. And if my hair started graying, I'd just be glad that I have hair to go gray.
I think that would be the way to. That's kind of how I approach it with the facial hair. Is I'm just glad I've got something on my head.
So should I shave it? Do you guys think? And maybe if you're listening and you never watch, again, what do you care? I guess have some fun. Vote for go shave it. We just listen to you. Will my voice sound different on the radio if I shave?
It's only one way to find out.
So 651-461-9226.
Would you consider shaving everything?
The hair?
The hair and the beard, they'll just go nothing.
No.
I mean, you can leave the eyebrows, but...
I would shave the eyebrows before I shave. I paid good money for this
That's
hair.
True. That's a good point.
Not shaving that. Let me know what you think. I'm certainly going to do whatever you guys suggest. The text line guides most of my decisions in life, you know? News is next. A DeRUSH hour straight up.
If you have doubts about your retirement readiness, listen to the Retirement Reality Report with Mark Dillon and David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. Join the Linskys Saturday mornings at 11 right here on WCCO.
It's Chris Lindahl, and here's the latest local real estate market update. The uncertainty index has risen to 7.25 out of 10, which is half a point higher than the last reading. That number is based on the latest available data, especially the fact that there are more houses on the market year over year. Fewer of them are selling, and national consumer sentiment is significantly lower. Bottom line, listing a house on today's open market is increasingly risky. For a comparison on listing versus selling with a guaranteed cash offer, go to chrislindahl.com.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really helped me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
On the air at AM 830 and 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Together with live streams via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps. This is News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. On the same day his borders are, Tom Homan announces the drawdown of 700 immigration personnel from Minnesota. President Trump tells NBC News that he believes his administration could have handled some things differently in its operations after federal agents shot and killed 2 U.S. citizens last month in Minneapolis.
Maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals.
CBS's Nicole Skanga in Minneapolis.
We sat down with the sheriff from Hennepin County, home to Minneapolis, as well as several local police chiefs who told us they were having conversations with Tom Homan and they were encouraged by a possible shift in tactics.
Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy, has been missing for 4 days. Authorities believe she has been abducted, and the sheriff says there is an apparent ransom note. CBS's Anna Schechter reports.
That clearly they didn't have a really strong lead right out of the gate. And that makes it tough because every day that goes by, it gets tougher and tougher.
Nancy Guthrie is medication dependent. U.S. and Iranian officials are due this week to hold their first talks since the deadly crackdown on protesters in Iran. They were in jeopardy for a portion of today because of a dispute over the venue. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
The United States is prepared to meet with them. I think it was scheduled for Friday.
Talks will take place in the capital of Oman. A new study in the journal Science Advances finds that chronic exposure to wildfire smoke has contributed to tens of thousands of deaths in the U.S. each year. More from CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The research found that from 2006 to 2020, wildfire smoke contributed to more than 24,000 deaths per year. Tiny particles are to blame. They lodge deep into the lungs and enter the bloodstream. Short term, they trigger coughing and itchy eyes, but longer term, they could health issues.
The man accused of shooting 2 National Guard members, killing one and critically injuring the other, has pleaded not guilty to 9 federal charges. CBS's Scott McFarlane is covering the case.
In a brief arraignment in Washington, D.C. federal court, Ramandula Lakhanwal has pleaded not guilty to 9 federal charges, and he's been ordered to stay in pretrial detention in his case. Lakhanwal is accused of the murder of 2 West Virginia National Guard members near the White House in November. Next court hearing expected in May.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 24 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. A government lawyer who told a judge that her job sucks during a court hearing stemming from the immigration enforcement surge in Minnesota has been removed. Julie Lee also asking that judge to hold her in contempt so she could get 24 hours of sleep. Lee had reportedly been given 88 cases in less than a month. Her removal follows the resignations of at least 16 prosecutors in the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office in recent weeks, including an attorney handling the prosecution of Vance Belter, who is charged with the assassination of former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. Axios also reporting exclusively this afternoon more than 300 former federal prosecutors and civil rights attorneys are urging the Justice Department to allow state and local investigations into the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. U.S. Border Czar Tom Homan today announcing the drawdown of 700 ICE officers here beginning immediately.
We want to get back to the original footprint, the Minnesota footprint of what ICE officers looked like before this operation, plus the additional hires for the big, beautiful bill. A lot of these people, you got agents here from LA, New York, and Portland. There's problems there too. So we want to get people back to their home stations and enforce immigration laws in those areas.
Homan says around 2,000 ICE agents will remain in Minnesota after today's drawdown. In a tweet, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says Operation Metro Surge is not making Minnesota safer. He calls Homan's announcement a step in the right direction, but says we need a faster and larger drawdown of forces, state-led investigations into the killings of Preddy and Good, and an end to what he calls this campaign of retribution. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey saying 2,000 federal agents isn't a de-escalation. Minneapolis elected leaders with their weekly public briefing on immigration enforcement operations in the city. State Senator Scott Dibble detailing some of the testimony from a Senate subcommittee hearing this week. He says an independent journalist actually applied for a job with ICE and was immediately offered a position without having to complete any paperwork or a background check.
She said what is extremely disturbing is that there is apparently no accountability from the start of this process to the end. ICE does not know who is on these streets. We do not know if there are people with domestic violence felonies carrying guns in our community.
Dibble also says they heard from lawyers who work on immigration cases every day who don't know how many people have been taken into detention, where they are, whether they have legal status, or where they are going. Washington County authorities announcing the arrests and charging of 6 men who allegedly tried to engage in sex acts with a 16-year-old. It follows a targeted operation in Stillwater where undercover agents posed online as a 16-year-old girl and multiple suspects arranged meetings intending to exchange money for sexual acts. WCCO News Times, 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Call Sheet. Trade on anything. Going to find things running slowly as you travel 169 both directions between Highway 7 and 55. East 94 slows as you head towards St. Paul past Franklin Avenue over to Snelling Avenue. 694 got your typical jam ups there both directions between Central and 252. The big game is here, and now you can trade on football legally nationwide on Call Sheet. Right now, New England is trading at 32% to beat Seattle. A $100 trade pays out $289. Use code FAN to get $20 when you trade $100. Call Sheet, KALSHI, trade on anything. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll stay mostly cloudy into the night tonight. Fortunately, it doesn't cool off much. 17 the overnight low, and it's been a long wait. The warmth has arrived. Mostly cloudy, a high of 37 tomorrow. That'll be our first trip above freezing in almost 3 weeks. Now, the temperatures drop during the day on Friday as the wind picks up, but still pretty mild out there. In fact, our temperatures will stay above average into next week.
Cloudy right now, 24 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All about curiosity, not ideology. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, hour 3, and it's still light outside. Can you feel like the turn is happening? The darkest days of the year are, well, at least, I can't say that. The darkest days in sunlight,
Now shut up and drive.
those days are over. The darkest, I'm not in the predictions game. That's a lot. I like making predictions, and I like pretending they were never wrong. They never happened. It's the beauty. It's the beauty of the fact there's another show, another day. You just keep cranking. You just keep cranking. That's all you can do. Drive Time with DeRUSH. Dan is here. I am here. I want to make sure to thank all of you because the support that we got from the End Hunger Together Radiothon yesterday was unbelievable. We turned over the entire broadcast day to fighting hunger in Minnesota. Many of you know I am on the board of directors of Second Harvest Heartland. The donations that came in, I'm still blown away by it. $740,000, almost $750,000 from WCCO listeners, from partners. And it just goes to the fact that in a time where we know food is expensive, people are hungry, there are extra challenges in our community right now, you guys wanted to step up and help. And we can never repay you for that. It is so generous. It is so kind. It is so caring. And that is what you guys are all about. So I love it. I love you. Thank you. And I promise you, we will make sure that Second Harvest Heartland uses that money so well. And we're going to get more than 2 million meals to people in need thanks to you guys. Pretty amazing. Let's get you up to date. Another busy day in the news. We called this segment of the show the Rush Hour News Headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
You know, I kind of like that Tom Homan gets the day started with an 8 a.m. news conference. No dilly-dallying, no waiting till 10. Like a lot of these kind of pansy politicians sleeping in, barely getting in front of the podium. 8 a.m. Get up. Media, show up. I was up. I was listening to see what the big news would be, and the news, in fact, was word that some of the federal agents, is it enough? Some of the federal agents are leaving.
Given this increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately we will draw down 700 people effective today.
I don't remember the music when I was up this morning. But Dan it
was early. You forget things. That's fine.
You wanted to add a little drama. Is this like Dateline NBC now?
That was courtesy of USA Today. So
I do think it would be fun. What do you think about this idea? Like, if behind all of the sound that we play on the show, if we played like dramatic, like real crime podcast type music in the background?
No, I hate that idea.
Why is that?
Because it's more work for me.
Your courage is an inspiration.
You're welcome.
To us all. 700 agents gone. If you had asked me 2 weeks ago if I thought this would happen this quickly, I would have said, hell no. So from that perspective, I do think the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, is right in saying that this is a step in the right direction. The mayor, Jacob Fry, has been saying, yes, but the fact that we have 2,000 federal agents in our state right now is not exactly de-escalation of what's going on. In a couple minutes, we'll talk with the head of the Sheriff's Association, because one of the reasons that Tom Homan said they were withdrawing 700 federal law enforcement personnel effective immediately is because the White House got cooperation from the sheriffs. But if you ask me, it sounds like they're continuing to do what they were always doing. So we'll get some insight from the head of the Sheriff's Association in just about 10 minutes. So make sure you keep it here for this. Yesterday in court, a DOJ attorney freaked out saying her job sucked. I get it. I mean, just about every day when I come into this joint, I want to say the same thing.
Wait a minute.
The system sucks. This job sucks. You're out of order. No, you're out of order. That was my reenactment of what happened in court from DOJ attorney.
Paraphrasing.
There was no you're out of order or she's out of order. But the rest of it was pretty darn close. Julie Lee was relieved of her duties today. There is a line between being a truth teller, which, let's be real, one attorney assigned 80 to 90 cases over the last month, all of these habeas cases where people who were detained file a lawsuit. And so she had had enough. She had had enough. She told a judge during a hearing in federal district court that she was overwhelmed, that there were so many cases. And she even sort of sarcastically said, I wish you'd hold me in contempt so I could get 24 hours of sleep. She was fired from the U.S. Attorney's Office, according to 3 people familiar with the matter, telling the New York Times. Fox 9 also reporting that. And we talked with Paul Blume from Fox 9 in our last hour. You can rewind this video if you're watching live on YouTube in the WCCO radio YouTube channel, or you can check out our podcast. Wherever you get podcasts, just search Drive Time with DeRUSH. We upload the whole show. We upload individual segments so you can listen on your time. Last night, Democrats came together, Republicans came together, and cast their first poll in caucus precinct. I know, whoa, it sounds exciting. Straw poll, party caucuses. Jason, stop. We're too aroused.
Survey said.
And the survey said that some Republicans probably need to think about stepping down from the campaign. About 18,000 Republicans cast a vote, and the Republican Party, with a live dashboard on their state party website, showing Lisa Dameth with 32% of those 18,000 votes. Kendall Qualls had about 25%. Mike Lindell with 17%. And if you're Scott Jensen, who ran and lost, and you only have 6%, if you're Kristen Robbins, polling 1.5% lower than the number of people who said they're undecided, today is probably one of those days where you say, all right, am I going to keep it going, or is it time to drop out? Lots of candidates. As always, when you come out on top, you encourage everybody else that it's their time to think about dropping out. These are party activists going to a caucus meeting. 18,000 people is a tiny percentage of the state Republicans. On the DFL side, the state party saying they had about 30,000 people come out and vote. There, obviously, the candidate for governor is Amy Klobuchar. DFLers saying that she got about 79% of the vote. Undecided was a large chunk. There are some on the left in the Democratic Party who are not thrilled with Amy Klobuchar as a choice. Children's Hospital in a major sort of, surrender, you could say, depending on your perspective, or you could say it's about time. But Children's Minnesota, under intense pressure from the federal government, has decided to suspend gender-affirming health services. You've heard Laura reporting on this, our news team reporting on this all day. They're suspending some of this. They made the move reluctantly, according to a written statement, because of federal actions that have been directed at pediatric health systems. The suspension takes place February 27th. This is not the decision we wanted to make. This is the decision we had to make, they said. Children's will still provide mental health care and support to transgender patients, but no longer puberty-suppressing medications or hormones to patients younger than 18. They never provided gender-affirming surgeries, but those medications and hormones now out. And if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, you are keeping an eye on the trade deadline. Will the Timberwolves make a big-time deal? We do not know. So far, there have been no major moves. Now, the biggest thing is that the Timberwolves did trade away Mike Conley. Now, I love Mike Conley Jr. He was traded to the Chicago Bulls. And Mike Conley Jr., he was a massive player for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but if you have watched a Timberwolves game this year, it's all right. It's all right to trade him away. He is not at his peak. He is 37, which it is sad to say you're 37 and you're cooked, but I don't think trading away Mike Conley is a bad move. Now, Conley was traded to the Bulls. And then, Dan, the Bulls traded him away.
To Charlotte, I believe.
And so now that he's been traded twice, there is conversation about the fact that the Wolves could sign him back under a minimum contract. So they would dump all the salary, which the reason they traded Mike Conley is to clear room for something. So they're preparing to take a swing.
It also gets him under that first apron of the salary cap. So
and if
they pay less of a penalty.
But if they did that just to get under the apron, Wolves fans are going to freak out. So the reason for the move had to be you're doing it to try to save room to get Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks. But we don't even know if the Bucks are going to be willing to trade him. So we'll see. The trade deadline is Thursday. All of your Minnesota sports teams play tonight. So there you go. 5:20, let's break. We will get back into that question of what did the sheriffs have to do? What is going on with that conversation that the Sheriff's Association had with Tom Homan, the border czar? We'll get answers from the executive director of the Sheriff's Association, and we'll do that after we do this.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We are running out of time for you to sign up to join me on a trip to Ireland with Colette. And I can tell you we're running out of time because today I was having a conversation about where we're going to go in 2027. This thing is selling like crazy because so many CCO listeners want their opportunity to go to Ireland on September 13th. I want you to join me. We've got an informational meeting, which I know you're like, Jason, that sounds as much fun as precinct caucuses. But the info meeting is fun. It is February 10th, so it's next week at Park Tavern in St. Louis Park. That info meeting will go through all of the stops we're going to visit on this tour. So you can sign up right now if you go to WCCOradio.com or you call Colette at 866-436-6734. Or just send us an email and say, hey, I want to go to the presentation on February 10th, and then I'll make a decision there. It's going to be great. 6:30, Park Tavern, St. Louis Park. This trip's going to be awesome. Dublin, Cliffs of Moher, Blarney Stone, spend a night in a castle. whiskey distillery, on and on and on. So get the info at WCCOradio.com, and I'll see you next week at Park Tavern.
In business, timing is everything. When it's time to buy, sell, or merge, you need a legal team that moves fast, thinks smart, and protects every dollar. At Helmuth & Johnson, we have over 30 years of experience in mergers and acquisitions that get results. No red tape, no surprises, just smart strategy and airtight execution. Big deals need bold lawyers. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side. Visit hjlawfirm.com. That's hjlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I'm just going to give it a big fat so what.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we're going to get to enough in just a couple of minutes. So if you want to send us a message, what you've had enough of, go to the Odyssey app and click on that voice microphone. Anything on your mind that you want to get off your chest, enough is your opportunity. But first, we go in-depth in the DeRUSH Hour News headlines because I want to know what the Minnesota Sheriff's Association agreed to get Border Czar Tom Homan today to say, like, hey, they're cooperating. They really, what did they give up? What are we talking about? Because it sounds like to me not much has changed. Jim Stewart is the executive director and CEO of the Minnesota Sheriff's Association. He's been talking to Tom Homan. He's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Jim, tell us what we're looking at here.
I think it's certainly a success. You know, we've been fortunate to be at the table with meetings over the past many weeks with our local and state and federal partners, and recognizing that the first step in success is going to be communication. And a big part of that communication, you know, the local concerns where they wanted to see the drawdown, and the federal desired to also. I mean, their folks want to go home. So knowing that it was something that everybody desired, we were happy to be a part of trying to explore steps towards success.
It seems the biggest thing that the feds wanted here was some ability either to like hold immigration enforcement targets for up to 48 hours after their scheduled release, or achieving some sort of better communication about exactly when people were going to be released. You know, we've talked with your general counsel before about the constitutional and legal concerns about holding people beyond their release date. What was the path to some sort of progress here?
Well, I think it starts with recognizing those restraints continue. The Minnesota law is what it is, and the Constitution is what it is. But we also, when I came to the meetings, one of our goals was to walk in and not just feel good about meeting, but to actually have some tangible things to consider and some optional action steps, if you will. And so
Yeah.
we came with about a dozen different things to talk about and work through and explore. Some of them might be longer term, such as legislative fixes, and some of them were short term, like how do we improve communication? All around the state, we're seeing what happens when communication breaks down. And so as we explored ways to help make things better, more and more of those dialogues turned into more practical action steps. With the detainers, nothing's really changed. However, the commitment has been for improved communication, which nearly universally, we have a significant number of the sheriffs across the state that want to be better partners and want to have stronger dialogue with all of our partners, but that includes our federal partners. And so that is probably the most significant step. But the detainers themselves haven't changed. We continue to explore some options that can maybe, I don't want to say a workaround, but that would fill that gap from some of the legal requirements in order to house individuals, and that could be through the form of formal contracts.
Jim Stewart is the executive director of the Minnesota Sheriff's Association. So let's just be honest about a lot of this. Sheriffs have been doing what the federal government has been claiming you guys haven't been doing. So a lot of this stuff has been going on. The truth is, we're talking about Hennepin and Ramsey, the biggest counties. Those have been the ones where they've had maybe different policies from most counties. Are they part of sort of these conversations that you guys have been having, or are they still going to be outliers?
They're part of the conversation. Each county is going to have to decide how this plays out for themselves. I can't speak, to their policies or their practices. There's 87 sheriffs that are going to have to make 87 independent,
Right.
Decisions.
Exactly.
But having said that, some of the housing concerns, as an example, to honor somebody or to honor the detainers and house somebody, that is less of a need in Ramsey and Hennepin, as the examples you cited, because they don't need to be held for hours on end. The ICE resources are literally across the street or close by. So if we can get to the point of notification, that's going to be the game changer. And again, state law not only allows it, but it requires it in some cases. So we're close. We're in a lot of discussions. It's very fluid still. We're optimistic, but at the same time, we're trying to be responsible with how much information we get out there.
Jim, what's hard as an outsider is, to me, a lot of this seems like you guys have agreed to do a bunch of things that you already have been doing. Are there significant changes where there's movement here, or is this more about giving everybody a path to sort of saying, like, all right, we made some movement?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's being more public about what the sheriffs are already doing, but it's also that agreed to explore and a willingness to explore additional options. And that's something that hasn't been in place before. And again, some of it might be legislative longer term at the state and federal levels. Some of it might be through the form of contracts. Some of it is going to be through just different types of agreements that could be in place. But there's a lot of, again, fluid discussions that are taking place with this stuff. But I think you're right. But it's both fronts. Some of it has been happening, but there's a lot of excitement about some of the new things that could be coming into play.
Jim Stewart is the executive director of the Minnesota Sheriff's Association. 700 federal troops leaving. I think most Minnesotans and most of those feds would like to see that number be, I don't know, about 2,000 larger, but it's a step in the right direction today.
Yes, sir.
Jim Stewart, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by LendSeek.
Electric vehicle maker Lucid announced a partnership with Rockwell Automation to expand Lucid's manufacturing facility in Saudi Arabia, the first ever vehicle production plant in the country. Rockwell will provide Lucid with software solutions. Lucid says it's on track to begin production in Saudi Arabia by the end of this year, with a gradual ramp up to annual production of 150,000 vehicles by 2029. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up.
Cash flow, tariffs, payroll, taxes, every day starts with a full plate.
So you got ahead of it.
Had to. That's why I checked out Linseek.
How was the process?
It was simple. Linseek's AI platform showed me real funding options. Fast, clear, and no games.
Any upfront costs?
None. Zero out of pocket. No prepayment penalties either. Up to $5 million. With funding in as fast as 24 hours.
Start ready, stay ready. Lenseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
No runs, no hits, no errors.
A perfect game is as rare as a good night's sleep on a sofa bed.
Not with Berufka's Comfort Sleeper. No bars, no springs, no compromise.
The zero wall clearance design means you can place it flush against the wall and still open it with ease.
The no-sag, patented platform sleep system provides full body support, handcrafted in Texas. Perfect for a 7th inning stretch.
Oh, Jim, the Comfort Sleeper comes in hundreds of fabric and leather options, along with multiple leg finishes and arm styles.
A Queen Comfort Sleeper sofa is Craftsman Direct priced from $46.49 or $194 per month for 24 months. Slide on in for the best night's sleep ever.
Oh, Berufka's no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing.
In Woodbury, Burnsville, and Minnetonka. Decidedly not your parents' sofa sleeper.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Got your heavy stuff in place, traveling eastbound 394, 100 into downtown Minneapolis. Traveling south 35E, got some congestion, moved down from Grand Avenue toward Highway 13, 494 eastbound. That's going to find some slow stuff there as you make way between France Avenue and Cedar Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast time. It is going to be nice. Let's check in with Chris Schaefer.
Our mostly cloudy sky will persist into the night tonight, falling back to 17. That's quite mild this time of year. 37 the afternoon high tomorrow. Finally, warming above freezing. Quite certain you'll see somebody running around in shorts. The wind is going to pick up on Friday. Temperatures will drop as the day wears on, but we recover nicely. Above average this weekend and next week.
Right now, it's still pretty nice out there. 24 degrees on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! I have had enough! Enough is enough! Enough!
Let's go! 651-461-9226. You've had enough. What have you had enough of? Is it mundane? Is it important? It's all fair game in our weekly Wednesday night segment where you just get to bellyache about whatever you want. Enough. I'm going to start. I have had enough of the word bootlicker. Bootlicker. Someone sent out a memo to the world's ding-dongs and said, here is the new official insult. It is bootlicker. Whenever I say something that you disagree with, I am a bootlicker. Stop being a bootlicker. You're a Trump bootlicker. You're a lefty bootlicker. First of all, I have never licked a boot in my life. Second of all, there's so much dang salt on the sidewalk. Well, actually, I do like salt. I'm pro salt, but I don't want to lick that.
Not that kind of salt. No.
Road salt? No. Bootlicker. Very new entry into the insult lexicon. And I'm annoyed. I don't care for it. Enough. That is what we do with enough. 651-461-9226. You're welcome to text. You're welcome to send us a voice message using the Odyssey app. You just go to where you listen live to WCCO Radio, click on the microphone. It comes right into Dan and me. Dan, what have you had enough of?
I've had enough of not taking a win. Of it never being good enough. There's a lot of good things that have come that you recognize about people in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, over the course of these last 6 weeks, whatever it's been. There's also been a lot of stuff that's really frustrating, where it's never enough, right? It's if you lean in the direction of the passion that I'm feeling, but you're not as passionate as I am about it, then you become a bootlicker.
Yeah.
Even though we're on basically the same side of the street here, but you're not all the way there. This isn't the worst thing ever in the history of things ever. It's this litmus testing, and it's, I know everybody hates when we do both sides, but both sides do this.
Yeah.
It's this litmus testing that goes on where it's never you're never progressive enough, you're never conservative enough, because you're not as conservative as I am, or you're not as progressive as I am. It's just stupid. It's just stupid, where we should be looking for reasons to work together, to come together, and there's plenty of that is going on. I want to, yesterday highlighted that in a big way for us.
Yep.
There's plenty of that is going on. But this whole situation has been so much worse than it needed to be, because various people insisted that you're not far enough to my end of the street, and therefore you're the enemy. You're just as bad as the other people. And that's idiotic. That isn't the way to run a culture. That isn't the way to run a government. That isn't the way to run a city. It's just stupid. If people mostly agree with you, you know what you do? Take the win. If 700, ICE agents are leaving town, you know what? That's a good thing. That's going to help calm things down. Are we all the way to where we want to be yet? No. But, the hesitation, like from the city today, from Minneapolis, well, we really wanted it to be more and it should be faster. And take the win. We're heading in the right direction. If it stops heading in the right direction, if it turns back in the wrong direction, okay. Then we can complain about that. But for heaven's sake, it's never good enough. And I've just had enough of that attitude.
I was sort of caught up in this phenomena yesterday.
Yeah, well, that's what helped inspired me on this.
Yeah. Where I had complained about the city council sort of trying to punish hotel owners for renting rooms to ICE agents. And so they are delaying their liquor license and making them have a hearing and all this stuff they wouldn't do normally. And someone on social media said to me, you can't hate ICE and then be mad when people supporting ICE are punished.
Actually, yeah, you can.
You certainly can. You certainly can. Yeah. Taking the win is hard for people. The purity test, if you're on the same team as me, but you're not as much on that team, it is annoying. Texter says, I'm with you, Dan. Take the win, baby. Yeah. I do think, in this circumstance, I can understand where the mayor is saying, look, there's still, you got 2,000 federal agents here.
I'm not being Pollyannish. You don't ignore that fact. But you can balance it out a little bit, can't you? Hey, this is a good first step. We're working together positively towards an end that's going to remove this surge from our city.
Well, he said that. he said the body-worn, and here's his statement, the body-worn cameras and the drawdown in body-worn cameras are a step in the right direction. But 2,000 ICE officers still here is not de-escalation. That's like a little taking the win, right?
It's very, very little.
Very little. That's fair. That's fair. 651-461-9226. Derek in Plymouth. I've had enough of paying $16 for a pre-mixed cocktail. What happened to bartenders? Ooh. Derek, some bartender had to mix that at first, right? I do get that. I struggle with the cost of a cocktail, period. And actually, I was having lunch with my friend Bryce today, who runs Cafe Latte. And Bryce was telling me about going to a pizza place. And this guy owns a restaurant, right? He owns Cafe Latte in St. Paul. And he told me about going out for pizza, where the pizza was $35. And then he took off one ingredient and subbed in like two others. So that cost $5 more. So his pizza cost $40. It's a pizza. It's like a 14-inch pizza. And then he got, then you pay tip and tax and whatever. I think the whole thing ended up being $60 just for a pizza. Like, oh my gosh. The pre-mix cocktail, so it's a little bit of a trade-off. I do think 16 for pre-batched feels high, but the trade-off is you do get it faster. I always think the coolest thing is if they pre-batch and then they like finish with a little garnish or do something, add a little flair. I do like the personal touch. So I get it. All right, we got a couple callers ready to rock with their enoughs, right? How about Kyle in Robbinsdale? Kyle, you're on CCO. What have you had enough of?
Well, I've had enough of ice. And, I think going back to what you were saying, is 2,000 enough? Like, I think our numbers before were at 130.
Right.
Agents. So, is 500 at the end of the day still too many?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd feel better with 500. I'll tell you that much. But I would be happy to be back at 130, right? Like, we certainly have people doing immigration enforcement year round. Like, that's fine. But should Minnesota have, is there any real reason why Minnesota has an escalated, real reason I'm saying, why we have an escalated number of agents here? No, there is no real reason.
Well, it helps the Project 2025 and 2026.
Yeah. Send them to Texas, send them to Florida, send them to Arizona. Get them back on the border. All that makes sense for me. Yeah, no. I'm with you. Thanks, Kyle. Rick in Plymouth, what have you had enough of?
You know how people, when you're asking a question, and you hear it in television all the time, somebody asks a question, and the person will go, "Oh, that's a good question." Well, think about it. I don't suppose anybody ever says it's an awful question. But, it's like giving out trophies to kids for showing up.
They must coach people to do this, right? Because I've done interviews before where the person I'm interviewing, every question I ask, they're like, that is a good question, Jason. It's like they're buying a couple. And I can tell you, like, I've been asking questions for 25 years. Not all of them are good. They're not all good. Some are throwaway. Some are intentionally bad. Like, come on.
When you think of some of the answers you could give up or give out would be, something like, if it's a really good question, you say, outstanding question. Or you could say, why do you ask? Because think about it. Sometimes people ask questions and they already have a significant bias in their head. So it's kind of like, okay.
Well, a texter is saying the reason we say it is so we can think about our answer. It's like it buys you a couple of seconds to think about what you're going to say. See, you also could just pause like you just did, Rick. Very good.
Well, yeah, pause is okay, isn't it?
I don't mind a pause. I like a good pause, a good dramatic pause. Makes people uncomfortable, and then they give you a good answer, you know?
Well, it actually looks like, okay, you give me this question. Let me think for a second, rather than a quick response. And it's like boomerang.
Rick, that was a good call. That was a good call. Nice work. Enough. I didn't just give that trophy away. I don't tell everybody it's a good call. Some of the calls are bad. I appreciate everybody's call, but some are bad. Texter says, Jason, I agree with you most of the time and basically respect your opinion more than most other hosts. That's very nice. My question is, who the hell, other than longtime career politicians, care about the Epstein files? It is interesting. I care about the Epstein files from one perspective, because most of what they've released is out of context, sort of useless information. What I care about is it does show how entrenched the uber rich are in this sort of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours world. Like this idea that people were emailing Epstein, like asking him to book a flight for somebody. It's just such a world of privilege and access and closed-door dealings that I think is disgusting. And that people were doing it with a guy that they knew was a skis ball, but they didn't care because they liked the perks. I don't think most of the people in these files were pedophiles. Most, I don't think, were. But the access, that one guy could have access to presidents, scientists, technology leaders, CEOs, on and on and on, it does illuminate that part of our world.
There's that. I think the most important people that care about the Epstein files are the victims.
Yes.
Are women who are trafficked.
That's right.
Are women who are abused. Are women who are harassed by, again, rich, very, very rich men.
Very rich, yeah.
Who have paid zero price whatsoever. And now you're starting to see some names leaked out of these things. I guarantee you that's not the full sum of the names. The owner of the New York Giants, the former congressman and lobbyist, Bill Gates, the Clintons, those aren't all the names. There's plenty more names than that. And these women, if they can't get justice in the court, if there's not a criminal, there should be some sort of financial justice that they can receive. And it's like you said, we've got this network of folks that everybody's, protecting everybody's back. And the one thing that can shed light on all of this stuff are these documents. And they haven't all been released, which was a law passed by Congress, signed by the president, that they all needed to be released. And they haven't.
Yeah.
Why? Because rich people, again, just figure they can get away with whatever
it's a different
they want.
world.
And that's what this is.
Yeah.
So if people aren't upset by this, I kind of figure they should be.
651-461-9226. More enough when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Have you had enough of waiting for your house to sell on the open market? Chris Lindahl has had enough of it. And that's why he created the Guaranteed Cash Offer. It's Jason here for my buddy Chris. He is a Minnesotan. He is like you and me, fed up with the old way of buying and selling a house, so he's come up with a better way. The Guaranteed Cash Offer used to be the ideal option for people who have inherited a house or have a job change or some major life change or a financial change where you need to get out of a house quickly. And so the Guaranteed Cash Offer gets you speed. But now more and more people are signing up for the Guaranteed Cash Offer when they have a great house. They don't necessarily need the speed. They want a big red check because they don't want to deal with the hassle. This is a massive change in the Guaranteed Cash Offer, and it's directly because of the fact that the real estate market is such a mess. So much uncertainty, so many hassles, so many sleepless nights, and so many people don't want to pay agent commissions. Enough of that. Get a big red check. Chris has been giving them out to families all over the Twin Cities, 80% more of those big red checks last year than the year before. Find out if it would work for you. Get to chrislindahl.com. Get your Guaranteed Cash Offer today and then get that big red check.
If today got away from you a little bit, meetings ran long.
Before we leave, can I just ask a quick question?
Headlines ran wild.
This just in.
Our top story tonight, live at 11. Breaking news.
Now at 11.
Your social media feed is like drinking from a fire hose. And somehow it's already evening. That's why there's 830 on the go. 6 to 7 minutes. The stories everyone's talking about. The ones you missed without missing a beat. For everything you need to know, it's 830 on the go.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
When it comes to outdoor living, quality matters. Patio furniture from By the Yard is Minnesota-made, maintenance-free, and backed by a 35-year warranty. It's furniture that stands up to real life, season after season. Just think about it. You'll never have to store it, paint it, or stain this furniture. Get online at buytheyard.net or visit one of the showrooms in Jordan, Maple Grove, or Woodbury Lakes and see for yourself. At By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog with a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Most insurance is accepted for these effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Watching the slowdowns for South 94, 55 in through the tunnel, heading over to 35W, West 94 near 11th Avenue. Possible crash as you move through downtown Minneapolis. East 36 flowing nicely right through Roseville. As you head out towards Stillwater, 35W northbound looking good from Highway 36 to Highway 10. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast for tonight. Honestly, it's uneventful for the next week as far as I can tell. Tonight, 17 is the low. Tomorrow, 37 is the high. Same deal on Friday. We'll be above average this weekend, too, so get out there. It's time to get out there. And if you're going to an ice bar or an ice sculpture, it might be melting. So get on it. Right now, it's 25 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
He's quirky. I like him. He's kind of goofy.
I do, too. I think he's great.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Enough!
Enough at 651-461-9226. I've had enough, says a texter, of that stupid singing at the end of the Mini Leaf CBD commercial on WCCO radio. I run to my radio and shut it off when that ad starts. So I have very mixed feelings on the Mini Leaf.
What's worse, the actual thing or your rendition of it?
A valid question. So I have mixed feelings about it because it's so memorable. So memorable.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say that the positive side was,
money.
Somebody's got to pay that money.
I'm for the money, but
Yeah.
I don't get any of that sweet mini leaf money, so what do I care?
Somewhere it filters down. You get paid from something.
I guess. I mostly care about my money, not Jordana's
Okay,
money.
I understand that isn't your sponsor, but there's
I mean,
money
they could
paid
send
to the
me.
station.
They could send me some
and
of
the
those
station pays you every 2 weeks.
sleep night gummies.
You can draw a line.
I don't know. I feel I bet our show makes enough to pay for you and me. Don't you think?
I have no idea. I'm rooting for everybody. I'm not limiting to ourselves.
Oh, I'm only rooting for us.
I'd like to keep the lights on, which means I got to root for everybody.
I don't really. I mean, keep the lights on between 3 to 6. Like the rest of the thing isn't my problem. Why should I?
I don't think that's really how it works.
They don't care about us. Why should I care about them? No, I'm kidding. Mixed feelings, though, in the mini leaf commercial.
It's, I think, memorable the way that you put
very
it. I think is
memorable.
absolutely the best way to put it.
You don't care for when I sing along.
I
to
desperately dislike that. Yes.
This really bothers you.
It's just there's a piercing tone that you get that on it. Yeah. And I've got headphones on, and it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It means quality.
Yes, it does. They're great people, and it's a great product.
You
and
don't know any of that.
people should check it
Why are
out.
you lying to the people? You don't know if they're great. They could
You
be
just said they were
awful.
great. So you're saying you were lying?
I didn't say they were
You
great.
just
I
did.
don't know. I don't know.
Trying to hang me out to dry.
Jason, I have a fish tank my grandson gave me years ago so I wouldn't be lonely. I'm really trying to keep many fish alive, but it's not going well.
Oh, no.
I've had enough. I've killed a lot of fish in my day. You know, not intentionally. All right, just settle down. Not intentionally. I love a fish tank. I would love a big fish tank, tropical fish. Oh, man. Texture has had enough of the Twins season. Settle down. Settle down, people. Inside Twins is next.
Don't take an unsolicited cash offer for your home before calling the John Schuster Group with